Green technology is fascinating. It reminds me a lot of the early startup scene in my own career. A lot of people getting a lot of different funding sources and just chasing down ideas who are really hungry. Green tech, though, also has a scary side to it because you're not just chasing ideas for profit in this scenario. You're chasing ideas that could potentially really help a lot of people. There are real deadlines and real impact behind these businesses, again, whether for or not for profit. But there's also a lot of venture and investment behind them. I think folks who are participating and driving this innovation in green tech have a real responsibility to bring the best that they can to bear. Entrepreneurship is stressful enough. For folks in green tech, they have a real mission that can go even further. I think a pattern that we're seeing is a lot of the founders in the green tech space, personally, just tend to be much more analytical. They're not always used to management strategy, team building, different ways of running a technology organization, how you set all those things up, how you hire, how you build a culture from the ground up, and how you set up those processes isn't always black and white, especially in a space where the technology may not have even been invented yet. You need ways to unleash that creativity and to find that innovation. That can be harder for more analytical folks. We're great in partnering with those types of teams and those types of founders.
And there's companies that have worked within industries where Moore's law applies rapidly. I think green tech is sort of like that, where a lot of the new ideas are coming in, but it really is, there's an assumption that it really depends on like the cost of some of these solutions going down like quite dramatically over time. And that can be challenging as you kind of think through of like, hey, this isn't financially feasible now, but you give it 2 years, you give it 5 years, you give it 10 years, all of a sudden it becomes very much so. You look at the cost of solar panels in the last 10 years. Before it was excessively expensive, and now it's really come down. So I think helping these new founders sort of see some of these potentials and like kind of the duration of the game that they're playing in can really help, again, kind of optimize for what they need to prove to kind of continue and like grow their ideas and their offering in the market. While playing to kind of more of a Moore's law kind of space.
I think a gap that's been interesting too is a lot of folks have raised funds, again, off of being an expert and having a really clear vision for their offering and their product. But what we're finding is there, at least recently, tends to be more gaps in the business strategy space. It's an area we're uniquely positioned to help address. We're helping to find new potential markets. We're helping to find better and more diverse product market fit. And that's really necessary during times of changing regulation, seemingly constant throughout the year, and then varying between different regions and countries overall. It's really hard to chase that down. For these founders, you may have to pivot on your revenue model multiple times before you even launch. That's a difficult and new challenge we've not seen before.